Presidential candidate Mitt Romney taking a shot at the White House, referring to the president's comments a little more than a week ago that a bad unemployment report was, quote, a bump in the road on our recovery. Look at this.
There are always going to be bumps on the road to recovery.
I'm an American, not a bump in the road.
I'm an American, not a bump in the road.
All right. That is a pretty powerful video that was just put out. Brad Blakeman joins me now, former Deputy Assistant to President George W. Bush, and Mark Sawyer, UCLA political science professor. First, I just want to get your reaction. We're going to start to see all of these videos that are flowing out from all these different campaigns, and they'll be coming from both sides, of course. Brad, what do you think of that?
I think it was an excellent ad. It certainly got the point across that we have a president who's aloof and cold to what's happening to the American people. Americans are not bumps in the road. There are 20 million Americans who are out of work, and this president, who had all the answers as a candidate, has none of the answers as president. His stimulus was an abject failure, not by my standards, but by his standards. Unemployment continues to rise, and in the inner cities, it's double what the national average is. So this president doesn't have a plan to get us out. The Democrats want more spending. Republicans have an alternative, and that is cut taxes, cut spending, empower the people, and we'll get back to work.
Mark, this is the sort of the argument that's going to be put against President Obama as he heads more solidly into the campaign territory. He's likely to hear that quote over and over again, I would imagine, about the bump in the road.
He's probably not, because it's not that persuasive. The fact is that the Republicans don't have a plan to create jobs. They've never seen a tax cut they didn't like. And cutting taxes and laying people off does just that. It reduces jobs. They're protecting asset holders. They don't care about the unemployed, especially unemployed in inner cities. Look, my cousin just got a pink slip. She's a teacher, and that's because of cuts in spending. The spending and the stimulus created 3 million jobs, and that's what the CBO says. And they just want to keep saying that it was a failure. It did its job, and we probably need more stimulus.
No, it didn't do its job, because the president promised if the stimulus was passed, $800 billion, that our national unemployment would not exceed 8%. Well, we know that it's close to 10% again, and since he made that promise,
so the fact that he underestimated the depth of the problem doesn't mean that what we did to fix it wasn't right. It's like taking a person having a heart attack and saying, well, we didn't put the paddles on them. We just did CPR, but we shouldn't have. If CPR doesn't
Mark, hold on, guys. Let me jump in here if I may. Mark, the question has been brought up by Democrats and Republicans alike at this point. Now, 2.5 years into the Obama administration, are we going about this the right way? And it sounds like you're of the camp that believes that we didn't do enough stimulus. You'd like to see more stimulus. Where would you get that money from? Where would you find that?
Look, short-term deficits are not a major problem. It's in the long term.
$14 trillion. $14 trillion of debt is a short-term problem to you?
All you're doing is protecting asset holders. Look, the problem in our economy is demand. It isn't the idea that the people in Beverly Hills don't own big enough mansions, that they can't buy enough.
Let me tell you something, my friend. There aren't enough rich people to sow.
Plenty of them.
There aren't enough rich people if you took 100% of their income to get us anywhere near what we have to do. This Robin Hood theory of economics is crazy. Even the president's chief economic advisor, who's leaving and jumping ship like the rest of them, has said that it's the private sector that we need to concentrate on, not the government taking from the private sector and building more government. That's not the way to recharge our economy.
Mark, I just want to, you're talking about protecting assets and the like. And there was a very interesting study done that showed that if you taxed all of the people that you're calling, the rich people in this country, if you taxed them all 100% of their income, it would go a very short way, in fact, to solving this problem. So it appears that the underlying problems of the economy are far more structural than taxing our way out of it. It's literally impossible to charge people enough taxes to fix the problem. So you have to go back to the underlying issues about what's wrong with the economy and how we fix it and how we get it. This is what the president's going to go to North Carolina moments from now. And you know what? People are going to be listening. They want to hear that there are solutions that are being proposed that can start to fix it. Are you satisfied 2.5 years in? Are you happy with the job the president's doing? Minorities have been hit the hardest in this economy. These numbers are very grim.
He's doing the best he can in a bad situation. And let me tell you what we need to do to fix the economy. We need to get those people whose assets you want to protect to move their money out of casinos on Wall Street and move the money into productive things that create jobs. They just want to use, they want a tax cut so that they can ship more jobs overseas and put the money back into casino bets on Wall Street.
You know,
and that's
Brad,
what crashed the
Brad,
economy.
10 seconds, and then we got to go,
those
guys.
are the assets you're protecting.
Bill
Mark,
Clinton
thank
said
you.
it right. There's $1 trillion of assets out there held in the private sector that the people are sitting on because they're afraid of the future and
There's
they're
no
afraid that they're going to be
demand.
taxed
All right,
too
gentlemen,
much
we gotta
to make
leave it
the
there.
investment worthwhile.
I'm going to have to jump in.